Arsenal are really looking at Aurélien Tchouaméni as their number one transfer target for 2024. Yes, people, welcome back to another Arsenal transfer news video. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section regarding this deal. Do you think Arsenal can pull this off? Me, I would love to see this happen. Let's get straight into the story brought today by Arsenal Fan TV, and it states this: Tchouaméni is the number one target for 2024. It's reported that Arsenal have made Aurélien Tchouaméni their priority for 2024, and the sources via Football Transfers. Now, how legitimate is this source? Because this has come out from Football Transfers, who do make other claims, but not all of them seem to be legitimate. So I am going to take this one with a pinch of salt. I'm not going to be out there running around the street saying, oh my god, Arsenal are going to sign Tchouaméni in 2024. Oh my god, next transfer window we're getting Tchouaméni. Because I don't think it's any of the sorts. But let's dream for a little bit right here, because is there a case where this scenario could happen? Let's talk about that, because I genuinely believe that could be the case. Now, I'm going to come out and say that I don't think this is concrete by any stretch of the imagination. I still think there is a lot of groundwork to make up if Arsenal are to sign Tchouaméni in the next transfer window. But I do see a route for this happening, and let me explain why. Number one, as I always say, with every transfer deal, there needs to be multiple parties that are interested in the deal happening. Would Arsenal want to play like Tchouaméni? Of course. I think Arsenal are long admirers of Tchouaméni. We know that himself, Mikel Arteta, has said that he's a big fan of the player before. And we know Arsenal are looking for a centre midfielder to replace Thomas Partey, who was very close to leaving already last summer to Saudi Arabia. And Tchouaméni fits that profile. Now let's look at Real Madrid. Would they be open to selling Tchouaméni? I believe they would be. Why is that? Because there's a certain player from France, actually, that needs to go to Real Madrid next summer, and Real Madrid need to raise the cash to do so, and that is Kylian Mbappe. Now, Real Madrid would have signed Kylian Mbappe on the free transfer this coming summer. However, at PSG, he did re-sign his contract, but everyone kind of knows, I mean, let's be honest, it's one of the worst kept secrets that Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid is going to happen in 2024. It's just going to happen. Real Madrid just have to raise the funds to make it happen. And for them to raise the funds to make it happen, certain players have to go. If you look at Real Madrid's midfield, it's one of the most stacked midfields they've got. They've just signed Jude Bellingham in the summer, and he's been a revelation for them. Genuinely so good, man. He's bagged, what, like 12 goals in 13 appearances? So he's not going anywhere. And they spent a large sum of cash on him already. Then you look at the other midfielders they've got. Camavinga, really versatile, can play in defence as well as in midfield. You look at Modric and Kroos. Yes, they're getting on in age, but they haven't got much resale value anyway because they're too old, so you might as well keep them around the football club. Valverde is another versatile player that can play on the wings as well. So then you get to the point where you're looking at all the other players left, and Tchouaméni's the only real player left that's got resale value and can be replaced. So that's the most likely player to leave Real Madrid to raise the funds to sign Kylian Mbappe, for example. Now let's look at Tchouaméni himself. Now, would he want to leave Real Madrid? I don't think so, to be honest, but if there's ever a club that you want to leave Real Madrid for, it would be a club in the Premier League. And you're looking at Arsenal, who have challenged for the Premier League last season, will most likely challenge for the Premier League again this season. It's not a bad move to go to. And we already know that Arsenal and Real Madrid have made deals in the past. You look at Mesut Ozil, you look at the Martin Odegaard deal, etc. So the groundwork is already there between Arsenal and Real Madrid to iron out another deal. The clubs are already on very good terms. So that is why I believe this deal could happen. Now, what is holding back this deal? First, the amount of money to spend, because Tchouaméni will not be cheap whatsoever. We're looking at around £100 million, and that's an awful lot of money. Arsenal already spent £105 million on Declan Rice. But I genuinely think this is the type of player we need to go for. If I look at Arsenal's team, I'm looking at players we need to sign. For me, priority number one is a striker. I've dropped videos in the past on potential players Arsenal could target in the January transfer window at striker. I've got my eyes set on Ivan Toney, to be honest. That's the player I want to see Arsenal sign. But there's other options about it. There's an Evan Ferguson. There's a Victor Osimhen if you really want to go out there. The players are there for it to happen. I also think Arsenal should sign a backup right winger. I've set my sights on Pedro Neto on that one. But he recently got injured for Wolves, and we don't really know how that's going to materialise. But if you look past that, the next position for me is a centre midfielder. Especially because, look, Thomas Partey looks set to leave Arsenal Football Club. But regardless of whether he stays or goes, the brother can't stay fit. He's always on the injury table. He just came back from an injury, played about 20 minutes against Man City, and got injured again. Do you get what I mean? He's going to be out for another few weeks. So that man's not reliable. I don't care how good of a footballer you are. Reliability is your best asset. If you're never going to be on the football pitch, it doesn't matter how good of a player you are, we can't make use of you. So I think it's about time Arsenal cut their losses with Thomas Partey and signed a proper young player that fits the mould of Thomas Partey, but is young and actually, to be honest, can stay fit. And I think Aurélien Tchouaméni ticks all those boxes. Guys, I want you to close your eyes for a second and just imagine a midfield three of Declan Rice, Tchouaméni, and Martin Odegaard. It's beautiful. It's got the perfect balance in my eyes. You've got Tchouaméni, Declan Rice, and Odegaard, who all have legs, all have age on their side, all have technical ability, and Declan Rice and Tchouaméni, we know they can put a foot in as well. It's one of the most balanced midfields you've got in world football. So I think Arsenal need to make this deal happen. Now, could Arsenal win the Premier League this season? Yes, I do believe we are going to win the Premier League this season, if you ask me. But it's nowhere near guarantee. And to be fair, we're still not favourites to do so. Man City are still favourites to win the Premier League, especially after their 3-0 victory in which they completely crushed Man United at Old Trafford the other day. So you look at it from multiple angles and think, for Arsenal to win this Premier League, we still need to make up ground on Man City. Whether we do it this season or the season after, there still needs to be ground that's made up. So you need to sign some top players because Man City are not getting any weaker. So I do look at this Tchouaméni deal and think this should be a deal Arsenal are pursuing for an absolute fact. I don't believe it's going to happen this January, to be honest with you guys. It'll cost too much money and I can't see around just selling him in January, especially with the fact that they're going to have multiple fixtures in La Liga, Champions League coming up. But I can see someone as a potential signing next summer. Look, if you ask me, do I think he's going to go to Arsenal? I give it right now a 30% chance, if that. But as time progresses and you see Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid links start to go up again, you see players need to leave Real Madrid so they can raise the funds, etc. I think the odds can start to increase and increase. But here's the thing about Tchouaméni, right? We know if Real Madrid want to sell Tchouaméni, there's going to be other clubs that are interested in him. This is a top player in world football, guys. A top player. You look at Liverpool, for example. They could love to use the services of Aurélien Tchouaméni in their midfield. You look at other clubs about as well. Chelsea potentially could be interested. They seem to be interested with any football player that's got a pulse right now. So Arsenal need to move swift on this one if it is going to happen. But right now, my perfect sort of transfer roadmap for Arsenal would be January, get a striker in the door. I wouldn't even mind if that's the only player we sign if it's a top tier striker. I'd love an Ivan Toney for 65, 70 million. But main thing is get a top tier striker in the door. If we can get a top tier striker in January, that'd be perfect. The icing on the cake would be signing a right winger as well, like a Pedro Neto, to be a backup to Bukayo Saka. And then in the summer, sign a proper midfielder to replace Thomas Partey. That would be my perfect roadmap for Arsenal in terms of transfer signings. But also, you got to keep players fit as well because, trust me guys, injuries are the worst possible thing because Saliba has been really good for us. Gabriel alongside, but if we get another Saliba injury, our defence is looking a little bit shaky just like last season. So we're going to need to sign some players to back up in all positions, but we also need to improve the quality of the starting 11 at the same time because when Partey goes out, our midfield is Jorginho as our starting CDM if we're playing a bit against a top team. Otherwise, it's Declan Rice in there and we play 2 attacking midfielders. Do you get what I mean? I think there's a real discrepancy in quality when Partey's not in the team and we're playing a top team. The drop off from him to Jorginho is very clear. So I think we really need to go out there and sign a top tier available defence midfielder that will be fit for the vast majority of Premier League and Champions League games, especially if we want to fight on multiple fronts. Because look, even so far this season, we've had the Premier League, Champions League, Premier League run and we started to drop like flies. There was a period where there was a lot of injuries we were suffering in a row. Fortunately, we've got some bodies back now, but we're going to start to go in that run of form again because we've got the Champions League the week after next. We've got Sevilla. Then we've got Lens a few weeks later as well. So, look, the game's going to come thick and fast and we need the players to be available to attack all those matches. And signing players in January will be key for that, especially when we go into the knockout rounds of the Champions League. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. A, do you think this deal can happen? And B, would you like to see it happen? And if not, who would you rather Arsenal target in the January and summer transfer window? And if you enjoy keeping up to date with Arsenal transfer news, this is the place to be. Make sure you subscribe down below on my road to 5,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Take care.